I get a lot of questions about what is the perfect sales pitch or what is the perfect sales presentation. I'm Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about your perfect sales pitch and your perfect sales presentation. And when it comes down to being in sales, everything is repetitive and everything is in some sort of formula. And what you're going to find is the best salespeople, the performers and the closers, do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And you're going to find that they tell the same stories, they ask the same questions, they put the same pregnant pause in the conversation. And so I'm going to let you know the perfect sales pitch or the perfect sales presentation takes time, energy, and effort. And then there's one more element that you have to know about, and that's the willingness for you to learn and be uncomfortable. And so, people come to me and say, hey, Scott, I see this guy over here or that girl over there, and they're really good at what they do, and I want to be them. I say, great, how uncomfortable do you want to be? How much time are you willing to put in? Well, I don't like being uncomfortable. I don't want to ask those questions. I don't want to have to put pressure on people to close. And I say, well, then maybe sales isn't for you. Because the perfect sales pitch and the perfect sales presentation takes time to master. It's not something that someone can slap together and say, hey, look, I'm going to give you the sales script and here's everything you say. You got to live through the fire. You got to live through all the work and the effort that it takes in order for you to be good. So there's two things that really happen. In order to have the perfect sales pitch or the perfect sales presentation, you do have to put in the work and effort to memorize your script. Now, I use the word script loosely. I always looked at a script as like, here's some bullet points of ideas, and now I need to put them in my own terms in the way that I would say stuff. Because here's what happens for salespeople is they go into a sales presentation. If they have something that they have to say that doesn't sound like them, over here they sound like one person, and over here they sound like, well, why all of a sudden are you somebody different? So if you're going to have a sales presentation or a sales pitch and you're going to perfect it, you have to make it your own. Sometimes you have to say things a certain way. Sometimes you have to do things a certain way. And then the other things you gotta go implement. You gotta do it in front of your buyer, in front of your client. Now, I work with salespeople and I'll show them this is how you say it. Here's how you do it. Put it in your own words. Put it in your own terms. And then I'll go ride with them. And then they don't do anything. They don't implement anything. So the perfect sales presentation, the perfect sales pitch, whatever way you want to say it, has to be practiced. Has to be in your own language when applicable. Now, sometimes, people watch this, they may be in industries where you got to worry about laws and the way that things are said. I'm not an attorney. I'm a guy on YouTube showing you some video on how to sell more, so giving you some sales tips and sales advice. So if you have to ask for compliance, I'm not the guy to ask, all right? Just letting you know. But you have to practice, you have to implement, and you know what? It's going to take work. Sometimes you're going to have to sit down and do some sales strategies and figure out what is going to work for you persuasively or what's going to influence a person to buy. And sometimes that means that you're going to have to look to other industries. Now, one of the coolest things that I've seen is Jay Abraham. He's a business legend. One of the things that he brought to the forefront in the 80s was he worked in a whole bunch of different industries. And he said, this industry over here uses this, but this one doesn't. How come that is? So sometimes it's a matter of you sitting down with other people from other industries and sitting down with other salespeople from other industries and saying, hey, how can I get this idea across? What is it that I could do differently? What is it that I can make to close this deal? So the perfect sales pitch and presentation means that you're going to have to take a lot of time, energy, effort, practice, asking questions, working with people, and it may mean that you hire an outside consultant to come take a look, because that is going to be one of the fastest ways for you to put this together. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, there are people in whatever industry that you work in that put these things together and really do help you out. So you could find them, you just Google whatever industry in plus, sales training, build sales presentation, they can help you out. So there you go. Building the perfect sales pitch or presentation takes time, energy, effort. Sometimes it takes an outside source or an outside person to help you build it, but you're going to have to talk to other people. It's not something you can typically do on your own. So there you go. Now, if you could do a small favor for me in the box down below, that would be fantastic. You can also subscribe over here, and then you can send it out to all your friends via Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all those cool things. Sylvan Bell. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.